I want to give you a few tips on how to save when you're shopping with US stores while you're visiting. Let's just take Florida. A lot of us, we shop in Florida. Specifically, I'll talk about South Florida. Um, and I'm not now, for this shopping, I'm not talking about going on vacation. I'm talking about those shopping trips where we need certain items. And so, okay, we're going to take the weekend or take a few days and just hop on over to Florida and buy the items and come back. I'm talking about those types of trips. So the first tip that I have is to really make this trip where you're not going over budget, where you're saving. The first thing is you need to reduce your travel expenses. Okay. Here are some ways to do that. Right? We often travel on a weekend. Weekends are expensive or more expensive than weekdays. See if if you work and you need to take some vacation time, you may need to do that. So travel on a weekday. If you look, flights are typically less on weekdays. Accommodations are less on weekdays. Speaking of accommodations, another tip to reduce your travel expense is to use Airbnb or ask hotels for Bahamian rates. So in South Florida specifically, and I used to do this when I ran my short-term rental, sometimes what I would have to do is I would have to put my guest, particularly if the guest wanted to stay for a long time and I didn't want to lose that guest, but I had somebody in for one of the nights that they wanted, I would put them up in a hotel. And so there are some local hotels in South Florida that if you call, put on your thickest Bahamian accent and call and ask them, hi, do you have a Bahamian rate? I'll give you one. One is Comfort Suites in Tamarack. Call, put on your thickest accent, ask them for the Bahamian discount. So use Turo, another way to reduce your travel expenses. Those security deposits at the car rental companies, that's money that you could be using to shop with. With Turo is like an Airbnb version for car rentals. So the same way locals in a community can put their homes for rent, for short-term rental on Airbnb, locals in specific communities can put their vehicles for rent. And I've used it a few times. It's really good. As of when did I last travel? I traveled in April. There was no security deposit. And so I love that I didn't, $250 wasn't being held up, in security deposits. So check out Turo. Also have a budget for dining out. Again, this is not that vacation trip where you're just lounging and, you're really taking in, the visit. This is, I go into Home Depot to get these items for the house. So you can't be there, dining in these dine-in restaurants for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. This trip is supposed to help you save money. So, have a budget for dining out. Do the Taco Bell, do the fast casual restaurants for lunch, and maybe one of the nights, then you could, enjoy a nice dinner somewhere. And then lastly, the last final tip for reducing travel expenses: use a backpack for your personal item when you're traveling. I used to be, trying to be cute, and have my nice purse and just be walking in. Listen, when you need something to put those, if your suitcase is overweight and you need somewhere to put those clothes or whatever the items are, that backpack that you have as your personal item comes in handy. So you have your, your carry-on, but that personal item is for those extra, things that are spilling out of the bag. You could shove those into the backpack. My mom, she has one of them big hiking backpacks. And that could fit, if you roll up those clothes nicely or whatever it is that you're getting, that could fit right in that backpack. All right, spend too much time on reducing your travel expenses. Second is order online ahead of your arrival.